We're back now with the voices that launched a movement. Time's Silence Breakers, Person of the Year. I have to ask this question because there's a line in the Time piece that says Trump's election after the Access Hollywood tape and the language we heard from him on it, not to mention the 16 accusers who came out about him, stoked the fire, they suggest, stoked the fire that we're seeing now. And however you feel about Donald Trump, and there are all sorts of reasons to vote for him instead of Hillary Clinton, and I get that, but let's just talk about the sexism piece of it and whether that's played a role in what we're now seeing. Your thoughts on it?
I definitely think it's played a role, and I also think since he took office, to watch him slowly start to strip away at women's rights have also played a role. And I think that that's undeniable. I really think that we, as a gender, are terrified that we're going to lose all our rights and our voice, and that nothing's going to matter.
What do you think? I mean, you're a fair and balanced gal. Right? We both worked at Fox News for years, so I understand why Republicans voted for Trump. This isn't a condemnation of a Republican vote for him. I'll give you an example. On my voicemail after the August 15th debate, where I asked him that question about misogyny, right?
We don't remember that.
Yeah, right?
What?
I got all these voicemails saying, you're a real C-word. And there was one that said, and I quote, no one gives a damn about misogyny. No, somebody said that to me.
They will now.
Do they?
I think that we are in the tipping point of a movement.
100%.
And America is really grappling with this. I think they're coming to terms that there is a problem. And that's hard for a lot of people, you know, despite all the people who stood up in the audience and all of us sitting here, you know, it's inconceivable to us that others wouldn't know that this is such a pervasive problem. But for a vast majority of people, that is the case. They don't know that this is a problem. And so it's really hard, if you don't know there's a problem, to then think about solutions. So I think America...
I think the solution is this right here.
Right.
It's like, yes, and more. But for women standing up together and not pitting each other against each other, because I think that's part of the issue. I mean, we've been going to the bathroom together for years. This is exactly why. Because we were afraid to be alone.
I think it's also,
we have to support each other.
It's also really important. This exists outside of politics, and not just beyond politics, but this issue is beyond politics.
That's what I was going to say. We get the flash. We're on Megyn Kelly's Today show. But there are so many people. I don't know what you people do for a living. You know, you could work for the burger franchise or for the department store, but your bosses are doing the same thing. And, you know, it doesn't matter if you make $15 an hour or $15 million a year. Your sexual harassment situation is just as important.
That's why the MeToo hashtag was so powerful. Because if they see somebody like a Rose McGowan come forward or Alyssa Milano, then they think, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm not alone. I just want to state for the record, I don't know how we wound up in 2016 with a candidate who got accused by at least 16 women of sexual harassment or assault, and one who would have brought into the White House somebody who'd been repeatedly accused of rape. Those were our choices in 2016. That was reality, okay? So the question is how far we've come as women and why we don't have better choices. And I refer you to the state of Alabama, where we have a man who is polling 3 points ahead who's been accused by over 10 women of assaulting them or abusing them at as young as age 14. He denies it. Trump denied the claims. Bill Clinton denies his claims, too. Harvey Weinstein denies his claims. Kevin Spacey denies his claims. They're in therapy. But you tell me how far we've come.
It doesn't feel like we've come far. I mean, in 1991, Anita Hill came forward. Speaking of silence breakers, right? We have to invoke the name.
She had no one standing with her.
Right. You know, we don't get to a MeToo moment, we don't get to a silence breaking moment without acknowledging Anita Hill. And imagine if we had believed her then, right? Imagine where we would be now if we had just believed what she was saying. So, and I think about, I lived in Alabama for a long time, and I think about somebody like Roy Moore, who stands as this moral authority, who set himself out and ran on this platform of being the moral authority, and we pull the curtain back and we see that you are absolutely repugnant. You are not a moral authority at all.
And
you are a
stop
pedophile.
Talking about the political parties and, well, it's your candidate. It's like,
Yeah,
it's not about party. If you're a
not.
sexual harassment victim, you're a sexual harassment victim, and it doesn't matter. Stop protecting your guy.
But also
because he's part of your party.
The dichotomy that we are in a time right now where we are, the silence breakers are the Time Person of the Year, and yet you have a pedophile running, or an accused pedophile running in Alabama.
I don't understand.
What is that divide?
For age 14 apparently wasn't persuasive enough for people. Like how long, would it, 7? Would that do it? Is 7, like, I know he denies it, I get it, but we've had over 10 women come forward.
They all deny it. That's what
they always deny. But let me just say, as a recovering lawyer, It is true that it is true that not every claim is valid, right? And so the people politically, especially, want to make an allowance for the possibility that it is all a hit campaign and that it's all made up. I would say it's even harder for the political accusers, the accusers of politicians to come forward.
Look who, speaking of a hit campaign, right? Who was accused of actually planting a person to lie? The reality is that there's only 3% of people who come forward have false accusations. The number is very, very low for false accusations. People don't want to go through this.
Right.
People don't want to be put
so
on
fun.
the
It's so enjoyable.
Right. Nobody wants to do this.
But
Right?
also he was banned from a mall and a cheerleader at high school because he was, you know, being a jerk.
Right.
You know,
good luck to the children at the malls of D.C.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, seriously, think about that.
This is where our voices come in, though. All of these other people have lost their jobs. Harvey Weinstein lost his job. Kevin Spacey lost his job. I could go on until all the fingers on my hands are used up. And yet, we elected to the highest office in this country a man with all of those accusations against him. And we have our voice now. Alabama has a voice here, a time to say, Roy Moore, no. This is where the bus stops. It's done.
I believe
you
in the
have to
people
use
of
your
Alabama,
voice.
Especially because Doug Jones is such a good candidate. I mean, he's
but it's a partisan divide. They're thinking we don't want a liberal Democrat in the office, period. And somehow they've gotten to the place of, and I'm fine instead putting somebody in office who's been accused repeatedly by women who say they were 14 when he sexually assaulted them. I mean, that's truly where we are. Those are the facts. We have so much more to discuss with our time honorees right after this break.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.